Hello friends, welcome back to Rose Tarot and Astrology. I am your host Mel Rose, and this is your astrology preview for the 36th decan of the year, December 22 through 31, 2023. The final 10 days of the year are the first 10 days of the Sun's transit in Capricorn, brought to you by the Two of Pentacles in Tarot. Tidings of ambition and organization and initiative, my friends. First, I want to say, take a moment to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and click for notifications. That way you'll know every time I post fresh daily astrology and tarot content. And as always, my friends, thank you for being here. I'm so happy that you joined me today. So, the Two of Pentacles is giving resourcefulness. It talks about balancing priorities, managing resources, adapting to change. And you know, priorities, resources, change, these things flow in our lives. So the balance requires constant attention. And it also helps, you see those waves in the back, it also helps to try to maintain a calm emotional state when you're juggling your resources. So here in the first part of the Sun's journey in Capricorn, the Two of Pentacles indicates that you might find yourself juggling some work responsibilities, financial decisions, or other practical aspects of your life. This is a time to be resourceful, try to stay organized, and prioritize your tasks effectively for success, friends. And this 10-day segment includes Christmas this Monday and the full moon in Cancer coming up the very next day. Next Friday, Venus moves on into Sagittarius, and the day right after that, Jupiter goes direct again in Taurus. We have a lot of really fortunate and positive vibrations coming up in the last 10 days of the year. So let's go ahead and take this day by day. Today is Friday the 22nd. And today the Sun makes a conjunct to Mercury. This is the Mercury cazimi. It's the second of three that happens because Mercury is retrograde. So it goes forward and it makes an aspect, and then it goes back, it makes that aspect again. And the third time it goes forward. So this is the Mercury retrograde version of the Mercury cazimi. And it's a really helpful time because, you know, Mercury retrograde is a time when we might struggle with miscommunication. We might struggle to get things planned or make plans stick. You know, there's sort of a caution that we need to have when we're driving around or moving around out in the world, because mishaps occur. Okay. So, you know, we want to be really careful when Mercury is retrograde to dot our I's, cross our T's, and read our contracts before we sign them. That's really basically the prescription for Mercury retrograde. And the great thing is, with every Mercury retrograde, you get this cazimi in the middle of it. And this is, you know, where you might have been having mishaps or confusion. Here today, we get clarity of purpose and communication. We can see very well what is going on. Maybe we can even see within what is getting in our what we're doing to get in our own way in terms of communication mishaps or struggling to make plans stick, that kind of thing. It gives us that clarity, and it allows us to communicate in a way and move forward in a way that feels confident, right? It feels a little bit like a day of Mercury being direct. So that's very helpful. And also today, interesting that the Sun and Mercury have that cazimi, because later on Mercury will back itself up, retrograde itself back into Sagittarius. Of course, Sun just moved out of Sagittarius and into Capricorn yesterday with the winter solstice. So they're just sort of crossing paths there. Mercury retrogrades itself back into Sagittarius, and this is going to bring us back to sort of thinking about the plans and conversations that we were having around November 26th through December 1st, whatever was happening for you around that time. Those themes might get revisited now. And then on Sunday we have, which is Christmas Eve, the 24th, we have the Sun making a sextile with Saturn. And that's really a positive vibration. It's very cooperative. It's like greasing the wheels. It just sort of gets things rolling and moving and makes things work very well. So Saturn is structure. It's our desire for security and the things we're willing to do for it. And the sun is really, your core identity and your personal sense of purpose. So, that desire for structure and your sense of purpose are getting along very well. And when they do that, you are able to generate better stability and security in your life and make a little progress as well on your purpose in life, your life goals. The next day is Christmas, Monday the 25th. Venus makes a trine with Neptune. I can't imagine like a prettier, more loving and kind vibe for a Christmas day. So this is really nice. Venus and Neptune are said to be the lower and higher octaves of the same idea. So Venus is, your personal planet for love, for romance, for friendship, for spending money. It's those things and people that you value, that stuff you like, love, and can't get enough of. That's what Venus is on the personal level. And then Neptune is like the transpersonal level. It's the interpersonal level. It's more of an umbrella level. So it brings universal love, a sort of maybe a romantic and creative vibe toward or approach to relating to humanity in general, or to the world in general. And, Neptune gives us reasons to sort of relax and reflect and imagine. It gives us reasons to feel good about having faith. So, with these two trying together, that's a very easy, gracious vibe. It makes things very easy. It's easy to be kind and loving. It's easy to open your heart to just about any circumstance. So, beautiful vibe for Monday, Christmas Day. And I hope that you all get some enjoyment out of it. And then on Tuesday, the 26th, Chiron goes direct. And, when Chiron is direct, it's really easy for us to see what we can do to heal ourselves, see what we can do to feel better. That's, in our hearts, in our minds, in our bodies. And so we're always working on getting better. But when Chiron is retrograde, which is several months out of the year, it's really more like we don't get to make progress, as easily about healing, but we're sort of healing on the inside. And what we're doing is we're noticing what we have managed to heal on the inside. Because when when we're hurt, and Chiron in Aries is about the wounds of childhood, wounds of bullying and exclusion, that kind of stuff. When we are hurt, what was I going to say about that? When we're hurt, we put up a defense, right? If something happens that's embarrassing to me, or I feel bullied, or I feel excluded, I articulate a strategy to not let that happen again, right? And that is really normal human behavior. So we articulate these strategies to not let that happen again. And then, many, many years down the road, we may have some experiences, we learn and grow, and we find that we have healed from that event where we felt bullied or excluded or put on the spot, that kind of thing. And then once we've healed it, when we notice that it's healed, we have to go, okay, so what am I going to do with this defense mechanism that I have in this place, right? So this is a great time when Chiron is going direct. In fact, something may actually happen to show you, to allow you to see how and where you have healed something, so that you can notice very plainly what sort of defense you don't need to employ any longer. That very same day, Mercury retrograde makes a square to Neptune, though, and this is one of those larger story arcs due to the Mercury retrograde loop. We had Mercury square Neptune on November 27. Remember, we're talking about going back to that last week of November and thinking about what was happening. And then it's on the 26th, the day after Christmas, and then again on January 7th. So this is a theme that's going to repeat for us. And Mercury square to Neptune, mishaps and foggy perceptions. I say mishaps because Mercury is retrograde and mistakes will be made. And then, when Neptune, which is idealism and sort of universal love and creativity, when Neptune challenges us, it's almost like we have to look to see whether we're fooling ourselves about something, or whether we're allowing somebody else to fool us about something, or whether we just don't understand something that is plain to see if we would think about it, right? So please look back to the end of November and see if something like that happened, where if something got clarified for you, where you weren't aware, and then something was really made apparent to you. You know, that is the kind of thing that might revisit you now and then might revisit you again on the 7th. So be looking out for those sort of encounters and sort of aha moments where where something comes to light, or something's not coming to light, something's not making sense, and something's not adding up because you just don't have all the information that you need. So, you know, analyze the thing that happened in the past and see if you can sort of unlock the key to actively let's see, clearing the fog, right? Unlock the key to actively clearing the fog, or at least unlock the key to knowing what's causing this fogginess for you when it comes up, okay? And then on the same day, Tuesday the 26th, is our full moon in Cancer. Full moon in Cancer is generally considered a really lucky full moon. Cancer is a lucky sign. The moon in Cancer is right at home. It is in its domicile and it is in its domain. So you know, this is very much about your how it feels to be you. It's about your body. It's about your emotions. It's about the thoughts you have, the things that you feel that you might not ever have to express to anybody, but you know about them, right? So full moon in Cancer, very positive time, really to you know, to do some body love, to do some self-care, to really attend to how it feels to be you, and maybe, you know, do some things that feel really good to you on that day, but also in the context of the greater astrology happening right now. You know, we have this Sun and Mercury cazimi on 22nd. We have the sextile with Saturn on the 24th. We have that beautiful trine on the 25th. These are all playing supportive roles for this generally considered to be fortunate full moon in Cancer, right? Chiron going direct. The next day, Sun will be trine to Jupiter. That is a very just juicy, good fortune kind of aspect. Venus is going to cooperate with Pluto down here before it moves on to Sagittarius, and then Jupiter is going direct the next week. So you know, these are all good fortune signs. There are other aspects as well that are happening right now. Other just really beautiful trine and sextile vibrations that are showing us a lot of support and giving us a lot of imagination, and you know, offering us an opportunity to dream big about what it is we'd like to be, do, and have in the coming year, in 2024, or the coming years, right? So you know, be thinking about it and see what you can do to embody that on Tuesday the 26th. And then Wednesday the 27th, the Sun does make a trine with Jupiter. This is delightful, delicious, good fortune. Jupiter, you know, the Sun is your core identity. It's your sense of purpose. It's what you're trying to do in the world. Who are you or being in the world, right? And Jupiter wants you to be, do, and have all the biggest, grandest things, ideas you have about yourself, okay? But Jupiter doesn't just throw, you know, throw opulence at you. Jupiter doesn't just give you the things that you desire. Jupiter wants you to work for them, but it will offer you the opportunity. So, you know, this is a beautiful day where opportunities may arise. You know, good fortune may be on your side. This is a day when I might be buying a lottery ticket, to be honest with you, but it goes beyond just money. You know, good fortune is not just about good money. It's having good opportunities, and it's also, you know, being alert and aware and ready enough to take them when they arise. Okay, that trine brings in ease and grace. It makes it very easy, makes it you know, sort of facilitates us taking up those opportunities, and it facilitates us having a bigger better idea of what we can be, do, and have. And then also that day, Mercury conjuncts Mars. This is another one of those sort of triple threat aspects with the Mercury retrograde loop. So this one harkens back to the end of October. Mercury was conjunct Mars, and this is sort of plans of action under a pressure, but it can also be like using your plans and your words in a really aggressive way. Conjuncts are really neither negative or positive. It's kind of what you make of them, but there's a pressurized sort of intensity to that conjunct energy. So if you look back to the end of October and see how, Mercury conjunct Mars, your communication and your initiative, your will to act, were under pressure together at that time, you might see how that might, see what kind of theme you might revisit on the 27th and then again on January 26th. Then on Thursday, the 28th, Mars is square to Neptune. So we had this beautiful Venus trine Neptune, and now Mars is going square. That's a challenging aspect. This is like, really wanting to make moves forward, but getting slowed down. Almost like, I've got somewhere to be in 5 minutes. It's 10 minutes away and the fog is rolling in, so it can be frustrating. Mars gets frustrated easily. Your sense of initiative, like we just want to go and the person in front of us will not go, right? So just understand that with those squares to Neptune, there is a lack of clarity. There's a fog or a mystery, and so you want to slow down. You want to be more careful about the initiative you're taking, the actions that you're taking, and be careful with your body as well as just being careful with your plans, because Mars is very much an active principle. It spurs us into activity, which means you might actually be trying to do something and getting slowed down and frustrated. And when we're trying to do something active and we get slowed down and frustrated, sometimes we hurt ourselves. We push a little too hard, or we, kick the wall or something. So don't do that. Just take good care of yourself. When you get slowed down on Thursday, say, okay, I'm supposed to get slowed down. I'm just going to slow my roll and take my time. And then also that day, Venus will be sextile to Pluto. So this is positive. Sextile is that cooperative vibe. It greases the wheels. It makes things work really well. It makes things really go smoothly together. That's, your values, your romance, the stuff you like, love, and can't get enough of, in cooperation with the planet for transformation. So this might really mean like meaningful transformations in your relationships. Recently, we had a Venus opposite Uranus that pretty much guaranteed like breakups or unhappy surprises in romances. But this is a very positive sort of bigger change underway that we take on ourselves, and we do the work to make it happen. But with a little bit of cooperation from ourselves, we can we can sort of get our hearts and our system values into the right place, into the place where we need to be to go forward, without sort of living in denial and resistance to the changes that are inevitable for us, right? And then on Friday, the 29th, Venus moves on into Sagittarius. This is the vibe for romantic uplift. So Venus is not at its best in Sagittarius, because Venus is very receptive and either either materialistic or sort of beauty and elegance and justice minded. But Sagittarius takes initiative, and it's also a mutable sign, so it's a little bit scattered. Like your efforts will be scattered, and you'll be called on, your receptive heart will be called on to be a little more assertive, okay? But in general, there's a buoyancy that comes with our romances when Venus is in Sagittarius. We get a little uplift. Things feel a little lighter. We feel like our love trickles over into the community around us. We feel a more expansive and universal love for those around us. And, we have, Sagittarius has that honesty thing where it says very clearly whatever it's thinking, sort of regardless of how it's going to be taken. So there's some honesty and some direct communication when Venus is in Sagittarius. So truth and meaning in the context of our relationships, in the context of what we value is going to take the priority at that time. And, Venus is not at its best in Sagittarius, but Venus is the lesser benefic, and Jupiter rules Sagittarius, and Jupiter is the greater benefic. So it's still definitely a positive thing. It's maybe just not a very strong romantic vibe, right? It's more of an all-embracing romance, like a love for the world and a desire to be really honest and to make our interactions with others count. And then the next day on Saturday, Jupiter goes direct. And, Jupiter is one of those big planets that's way out there. It's not as far out there. Jupiter is the planet that sort of lives between the personal planets and the outer transpersonal planets. And it brings us out into that transpersonal world. It brings us out of the personal life. And it says, here's an opportunity to go make good on something, on some of your high ideals out in the world. Here's some higher education here for you. Here's a travel opportunity here for you. Here's a bigger business opportunity for you. So that's what Jupiter does. It throws opportunities out there for us and hopes that we can catch them and sort of improve our station in life, or our understanding of life, our feelings about our life, through that opportunity. So when Jupiter goes direct, especially when Jupiter is going retrograde or direct, we really feel its vibe of good fortune and wanting us to have, be, and do better. So, look out for those opportunities and offers coming in. And again, you don't have to get ready if you stay ready. Be ready to take advantage of your opportunities when they come up. And then the next day is the 31st. That is New Year's Eve. And I didn't put it on here because there aren't really any significant aspects that day, but it is New Year's Eve. So happy New Year's to you when we get there, friends. And that is probably it for the 36th decan. The final 10 days of the year, friends. How are you doing? What are your hopes and aspirations for the coming year? Please let me know in the comments. The next decan video will go up on Sunday, January 1, the day that Mercury goes direct. And I sure want to know what happens next, and I will be here with you to discuss it. Thank you so much for tuning in today, friends. And until next time, keep looking up.